Napoleon Bonaparte said, "The battlefield is a scene of constant chaos. The winner will be the one who controls that chaos, both his own and the enemy's," meaning the battlefield actually can be very easily considered to be one of the darkest realities and worst conditions and unnecessary circumstances to ever exist in the history of humanity, and that has also been ironically and magically or tragically created by man himself, because man has always been the only one who actually has and he still wants wars and conflicts and military interventions and expeditions to different countries in one way or another. Now the leaders and countries and the armies may be different, but it's principally, fundamentally and primarily man and his own ambitions and desires and greeds and cravings for more possession, exploitation of resources, manipulation, and the will to establish dominance, control, and subjugation and slavery over the world, and to bring about hegemonic dominance. Man has basically waged one war after another and created and transformed the whole world into a battlefield of life and death, crisis and chaos, suffering and sorrow and tragedy and trauma and the many other evils and dangerous conditions as well in one way or another. So the battlefield actually has also always been one of the grim and dark and bleak realities or conditions of all time created by man himself, because as I mentioned earlier, man is political and dangerous and greedy, and he wants basically whatever he lays his hands on or whatever he thinks about, and that's why he has brought about even the most dangerous and greatest humanitarian tragedy and crisis of all time, that is war, into practice and into existence, into individual lives in one way or another, and everything is a battlefield now. As with the Russia-Ukraine war, the battlefield is not actually limiting at all, but it's actually spreading every day in one way or another. So basically, the battlefield is also the representation and the epitome of internal mastery and external confinement and achievement and victory as well. So he is able to dominate, control, and ultimately win the battlefield, who has mastered not only his own internal chaos and psychological storms and mental conflicts and other torments, but the one who also has the enough power, capability, strength, resilience, resistance to external conditions and outside hardships, and ultimately